sales and profits are down at Square Enix, which just posted its financials for the 9 months ended December 31st.
2018
Consolidated net sales dipped by 8% year-on-year to 179.1 billion yuan, $6 billion, while profits decreased by 61% to 8.9 billion yuan, $81.1 million, over the same period. That downturn is partly due to the restructuring of Luminous Productions, which saw Square book an extraordinary loss of 2.7 billion yuan, $33.7 million. Looking at the company's digital entertainment segment, which houses its video game operations, net sales over the past 9 months dropped by 9.1% to 135 billion yuan, $2 billion, while operating income fell by 59.3% to 14.8 billion yuan, $135.7 million. That's despite a strong showing from new releases, like Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Just Cause 4, and Octopath Traveler, which actually bumped up quarterly net sales, despite not being able to offset a long-term decline on the smart device and PC browser front. Many of Square's newer titles struggled to meet expectations and failed to generate additional revenue on top of existing games. A decrease in licensing income and an increase in advertising spend also contributed to a year-on-year decline in net sales and operating income. Square claims it must now focus on selected titles and releasing games that utilize existing properties in order to create new hits and reinvigorate its smart device and browser business. In the area of massively multiplayer online games, net sales and operating income also decreased on the previous year, largely due to lack new releases and expansions. Moving forward, Square expects net sales and profits to hit 270 billion yuan, $46 billion, and 175.1 billion yuan, $6 billion, respectively by the end of the fiscal year, on March 31st.
2019
Everyone's talking about unknown worlds. Space Scuba seems Subnautica, so make sure you do not overlook a special session at this year's Game Developers Conference that affords you a unique perspective on the game's design. Specifically, game director Charlie Cleveland is presenting a GD 2019 design track talk on the design of Subnautica that will reveal how the game was designed to evoke feelings of exploration, discovery and the unknown. Cleveland aims to start off by taking you through the process of creating and adhering to specific design pillars and capturing emotion in the initial prototypes and the prototyping process. Through studies of game features big and small, including the health and wise of its crafting system, embracing player phobias, mysterious tooltips and adding structure to a sandbox through radio signals. Also covered are examples of story beats that did not overly direct guide the player on how it's possible to reframe problems when development is stuck. If you are at all curious about what's involved with launching a game, like Subnautica and sailing it through the waters of early access, this is a talk to see. Further details on this talk and many more are available now on THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GD 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22 at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more for more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website. are subscribed to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, or Gamasutra and DD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa on the Game Wisdom Discord channel. One of the fans posed a question to me: how does someone start studying the game genre if they would like to eventually start making a game in it? The question seemed simple at first, but as I thought about it, it's really quite hard to answer. Studying game design is not the same as reviewing a game, and really gets at the nature of understanding game design. Video games are a hard product to study critically from the consumer point of view. Outside of early access, you only see the end state of a game, and many people have no idea what it took to get there. Game designs can, and oftentimes will, change over the course of development. It's hard to understand what pitfalls and problems can happen in designing a game if you never see those issues to begin with. Another challenge is that despite video games being a visual medium, watching a game being played and playing it yourself are two vastly different experiences. It is very hard, to the point of being impossible, to understand the design without being the one who plays it. Unfortunately, if we are talking about older video games and retro games, it's becoming harder to find these games legally. And then we have the question posed at the start: how do you study game design? Reviewing a game and analyzing one are two different fields. Reviewing games is about examining if the game is enjoyable, has a fair price, etc. There's less of a long-term look at a title when reviewing, and more focused on this particular moment in time. Studying a design is about understanding what aspects of the game work, what does not work, and looks at things deeper. Good games can have bad design elements, and vice versa for bad games. A great game or great design elements transcends the time it was released, and why titles like Super Mario World are still held in high regard. If you never started a video game before, asking someone to do it immediately would be like dropping them in a foreign country and tell them, learn this language fluently. As with making a video game, there is no set checklist on how to learn game design. But I can give you a few tips I have picked up over the years. The first one is obvious: you need to play a lot of games. For many reviewers and critics, that's where everyone wanting to get into the game industry is going to go. However, it's not just about playing what's popular. You want to look at as many examples of the genre you want to study that you can. Everyone can play Super Mario Bros. If they want to play a platformer. But what about Sonic, Earthworm Jim, The Simpsons, Looney Tunes, Cool Spot, Prehistoric Man, and I could literally keep going for the next few pages listing more of them. Just because a game is great does not mean that there are unique elements to it. And oftentimes the games that do end up being lesser examples may have taken a different risk or take on the genre that ended up not working for them. Again, the only way you will know about what's been done before is to actually play it. Once you start playing the game, the next question is, what should I be looking at? One advantage of studying game design, as opposed to reviewing, is that your focus is going to be more specific. The first 15 to 20 minutes of any game should be heavily examined in terms of the design, the core gameplay loop, and structure of the title. While you do not need to play a game from start to finish, you need to understand the elements that make up the design. If a game does hook you far beyond that span of time, you can keep playing to see if it can sustain that momentum or introduce new elements. If a game does not hook you, then pay attention to why that is. I know some of you are thinking, it's not 20 minutes too short of a time to look at a game. The answer is that period of time is when you will either win or lose fans for your game. As the saying goes, the first level of your game should be the last one designed. If you are not putting your best foot forward with your game, then it does not matter how great it gets later on, if no one is playing. I cannot stress enough about looking at the OA of a title, as this has always been a reason of mine. Staying with or giving up on a game, as we just talked about, UI design, is something that you can only truly experience by playing the game. If there are problems with the UI, you will find them within that 15 to 20 minute period. Thinking critically about game design is an essential skill to learn if you want to further your understanding of what it means to make video games. There is still so much more we could discuss: PR practices, marketing, playtesting, etc. But that will have to wait for another day.